Hello, and welcome to Caching in the Northwest, the official podcast of love. And GeoWoodstock 18, right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Each week, we're going to talk about caches and cachers from here and all around the globe. So, while you're buying your sweetheart gas station flowers, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Yeah, I may have to leave. I think I just threw up a little in my mouth. I don't know how to follow that. Well, let me try this. I think that means it's time to bring in our romantic Rhesus. Some say he is so smooth, he's frictionless. And others say he's as laid back as a mattress sail. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Baby, tonight we're talking about meeting your love through geocaching. There, that's my Barry White.
I threw up again.
So
Okay.
Jim's going to need to go off
right there.
Rinse his mouth out.
I got it back down. You know what? I think we do really well at geocaching, not so much at other genres.
Yeah, let's
got
get to geocaching podcasts. Let's do that. And you know what? Speaking of geocaching podcasts, this is the opportunity to have a quick reminder, as we always do at the beginning of the show, that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week, thanks to Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. Now, the latest special from the Landsharks is the How to Puzzle Cache book and supplement. We talked with Cully Long a few shows ago about the updates of this book, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. And hey, here's some news. Landsharks are sponsoring a new Go Geocaching Anywhere in the World contest where you can win a limited edition trackable set. So stay tuned to the after show at the end of this podcast for all the details. And hey,
What are we supposed to listen for?
all the details in the after show. Where's my, there we go. There I am.
Hi.
Randomly clicking buttons. All
now
right.
I know who you are.
Now I know who I am. Exactly. Hey, if you want to know more about supporting this show, click the Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website and don't randomly click buttons while you're podcasting like I do.
That could spell danger. In fact, because you're randomly clicking buttons, we have people who already have to go to bed early tonight.
Oh.
So don't click the go to bed early button anymore.
Okay. Sorry.
But you know what? That's really nice that people pop in and say, hey, I just want to say hi. I got to go to bed early. That's really nice just to pop in and say hi. We appreciate that. Another thing we appreciate, and I have gotten several in the email recently. I was going to say the mail. 7?
Well,
52.
You said appreciate. So I said 2,
Oh.
4, 6,
8. Who do we appreciate? Another thing. Okay, so I've got glows in the emails recently. I wanted to say in the mail, but people would think it actually came through the postal service, and that doesn't work. Have you seen the postal service lately?
I don't know. Maybe you can send glows to the postal service.
I mean, Lance Armstrong is the last time I rooted for the postal service, and look what happened there. So, it's time for the glow or the geocaching log of the week. Whether you wrote it, whether you read it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply makes geocaching better. Send an email or a field recording. Sorry.
It's getting creepier and creepier.
Yeah.
I could say.
To feedback at cachingandw.com. You can call into 253-693-TFTC or use the voicemail tool on the website and show us how you glow.
Please do. Send them
When
in
we can
in your own
stop.
voice, so we don't have to listen to Chris of the Northwest.
Please.
Hey, this week the glow was submitted by Bounce Bounce, and it was logged by Jim Carson. This log reads, I had a few extra minutes this morning before a work meeting about investments. I stayed at the 520 Bellevue Travel Bug Hotel based on a recommendation from a friend. I'm so happy to have chosen this place. The location was great for me and parking was plentiful. The room was very, very clean, discreet, with a comfortable bed and rosemary-infused toiletries in the washroom. I wish other hotels offered the super easy self-check-in. And a very small issue with the turbo encabulator flashing too quickly that I misread the important safety information. Technical support helpfully and respectfully pointed out the user error. I hadn't quite aligned the flux capacitor coils to the proper tolerance. On the way out, I browsed through the exclusive selection at the gift bazaar. I didn't have anything to exchange, so it was strictly window shopping this morning. I think I may have bumped into Keanu Reeves. I highly recommend the 520 Bellevue Travel Bug Hotel. I still wish I'd stayed longer.
Oh, this sounds lovely.
That is a
I think I'll
great
go there.
log.
Now,
I like that one.
I'm not all that familiar with the turbo encabulator. I'm more of a retro encabulator.
Yeah, well, you're an old guy.
Fair enough. But and so yeah, lots of little Easter eggs in that one there. And that's just a great log. So somebody obviously enjoyed the TV hotel, wrote a great log to reflect the fun they had finding that cache, which is a fantastic geocache.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes. The end.
I've heard it is. I have not found it yet.
You
I need
haven't?
to go up there. I'm going to go up there just to find that one.
I'm surprised you haven't found that one.
Well, I live in the area. Why would I need a hotel?
Right. Well, I thought you would have done that when you did like the Valley's Geo Tour or something.
It would have made a lot of sense. But no, I didn't.
Okay.
I get a little focused on geo tours.
Do ya?
Yeah. I can get distracted by shiny objects, so I have to stay hyper focused, and these are the only ones that I'm doing.
I just stay hyper. It works for me.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you want to add to tonight's show,
If you
all
want
you
to
have
use
to
tonight's
do-
show,
is use the hashtag love. Love is all you need. Well, love, hashtag love, and some other comment. But if you also want to throw something in for the after show, use that hashtag FTAS for the after show. See how that works? FTAS. Toss that in, and our exclusive chat lackey will put that at the end of the show notes. I think we should all give a hand to our chat lackey. Yay. Golf claps to the chat lackey. Thank you so much for all you do, chat lackey.
Yes. Thank you, Chat Lackey.
Hey, we have a little bit of news.
Oh, yes.
Just a little. Have you looked at your geocaching stats, your profile on geocaching.com lately?
No,
Every day.
not for months.
Every day?
Every day.
Wow. Let's see. I look at my dashboard. I don't look at my stats every day.
Get up in the morning and I look at my stats. Did they change? Is there something new?
Let's see. I have to view. I have to view my own profile. I don't go there. Well, there's a new line. There's the number of finds, the number of hides, and now, as I'm sure Bounce is very happy to see, the number of favorite points.
Yeah. So they swapped out what used to be there was the total trackables, trackables discovered, trackables logged, whatever it was.
Okay.
And so they've swapped that up with favorite points, which I think is more useful information on a public profile, right? Because, yeah, anyways, it's all, it's all part of the different ways of looking at the scoring of the game. So, let us know, listeners, what you think of this idea. I see we've already got one piece of feedback saying it's a great idea. Trexer Zero also agreeing. Good idea. So there you go. Keats. Keats adds in, would be nice to see on your profile total awarded fave points.
Um,
Isn't that
well,
what that is?
let's see.
Oh, that you've given out.
Oh, that you've
That's
given out. I was going to say, I know I have 98 remaining. Anybody want a favorite point? I'll just give you one.
Wow. You're so generous.
I know.
All right.
Don't tell anyone.
Well, we'll move on.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, before we do, Trexer also added it's encouragement to place quality caches.
Mhm.
And it absolutely is. It's more little ways we're finding to try and get people to get quality caches out there.
Exactly. Because you want to see that number grow.
Exactly. So we've been promoting on social media this week that there's big news coming on this podcast.
Yes,
Is
we have.
that what we've been telling people?
We've been telling people that.
Well, you have.
Yes, we
I've
have.
been asleep at the wheel, so
The royal we.
yeah.
So a little bit of the big news was definitely that there's a new contest, and we alluded to that off the beginning. So you listen through to the after show, and you'll get all the details on how to win a exclusive trackable set from that. So that's some of the big news. Some more big news is just moments before the show, I was checking, and GeoWoodstock is GeoWoodstock 18, I should say, is at 2,644 Willitens.
Ooh.
Getting there. So that's some more news, but the big news, here's the big news. And I am going to tell you, this is an exclusive. Caching the Northwest is the first place anybody's going to hear this news. But here we go. Huge news. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Drum roll.
All right. Can I drag this out a little longer?
Maybe.
Sure. I got all night.
We need 356 more Willitens to reach 3,000.
No, we'll wait. Go ahead.
Yes.
Call your friends.
Okay. So everybody, the big news will be when we hit 3,000. So we're just going to sit here and wait.
And through the magic of podcasting, we're still not there yet.
We're still not there. No. Okay. So I've been teasing this out. The huge news that we were going to share with you guys is that GeoWoodstock 18 will have on-site camping this year.
Whoa. Back up. What do you mean on-site camping?
I mean, you will be able to camp within walking distance of the front doors of the GeoWoodstock.
No way.
Ah.
When is the last GeoWoodstock that had such a thing?
I don't know, because I know it wasn't at Cincinnati and it wasn't at Texas.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Every GeoWoodstock I've ever posted a Will-attend for has had on-site camping now.
Cool.
Just saying.
So yes, we have on-site camping. We are sincerely thankful to the Abbotsford Flying Club for hosting the dry camping on the Abbotsford Airport grounds. So the full announcement and all the details are going to be published very soon on Saturday over the weekend, but we wanted to let those of you who are keen to camp know that you'll be able to register with the Abbotsford Flying Club through their website to reserve your campsite very soon. So stay tuned, watch for those announcements coming out with all the details. So those of you who saw the post that I put out that had a little tent with AFC on the side, now you know. Now you know what that was all about. You see, it was a geocaching puzzle.
So dry camping, that's no beer.
Guaranteed no rain.
There's
Yes, that's what it is. No rain.
the camping will be for a maximum of 4 nights. The campsite opens Wednesday, August 19th at 12 noon. All the details will be on their site, including all the rules and regulations. So make your registration for $25 a night.
Right.
That's what it's going to cost you to camp there. And like I said, details will be published soon. So
Yeah. And all kidding aside, I think dry camping means there's no like hookups and those kind of things.
no water, no electricity is what.
Right. That's what I thought.
But I believe there is no hookups, no water, no electricity. Thank you guys in the chat.
And there's no rain in Abbotsford in August.
Oh, it's their bulletin.
Nice. Awesome. So yeah, that
He has spoken.
There you go. So if you want to get all the details on that really quick, and you want to find out more about anything new that's happening with GeoWoodstock, there's going to probably be big announcements coming out every once in a while now as we get closer and closer. So log your Will-attend, and you will definitely get the announcements when they come out.
Now, I mean, on-site camping means you've got a 4-day long party. You've got thousands of people that are going to come basically to your doorstep each and every day, that you can just sit there in your tent and say, hey, I'm over here. Come visit me. Or, you could get up and go to the festivities, but it's really nice to, if you need a little break, you can just wander right back. It's within walking distance. Take a rest.
Have a nap.
Have a Triscuit and move on.
Trexer had figured out the AFC part, but thought it had a different meaning, that there was going to be airplane caching with a balloon at 30,000 feet.
Ooh.
So
since it is a fun club,
and I'm just going to say, we haven't ruled that out.
There you go.
I was going to say,
no promises, no guarantees, but
nobody said no.
That's right.
Oh, God.
Maybe it'll be a really big kite, and it'll just go a little bit off the ground.
Maybe that seems reasonable. All right.
Hot air balloon, or just maybe some podcast hosts that are full of hot air.
Yeah, exactly. Inflatable podcast host.
But very cool. Very cool. Camping at GeoWoodstock.
Camping at GeoWoodstock. Dry camping at GeoWoodstock again. Yeah, just stay tuned this weekend. All the announcements will come out. All the details will be there. And you can start signing up if you want to camp with your friends.
And who wouldn't, really?
Yeah, at GeoWoodstock. So we're hoping that's going to really help. There's a lot of people who've been trying to figure out how they're going to get their camper or their RV or their tent to get hooked up. Well, not hooked up because there's no hookups, but to get a place to camp near the venue. There will be plenty of spots available. So we really encourage you to do that. All right. Next up,
I don't know. Should we have inflatable podcast hosts?
Is that the next step up from the puppets?
Maybe. Yeah. I'm thinking more cardboard cutouts, but okay.
Yeah. Hey, well, the puppets will be at GeoWoodstock, I'm sure. So if you haven't met the puppets, there you go. And there we go. There's one of them. The other one's back here somewhere. There he is.
Right here.
There we go. They're always on the show.
You may not see them.
They're always there.
They're always there.
He's right here.
There he is. I see him. So I have a creepy feeling of being watched. All right. So other news. Hey, I want to share.
Wait, there's more?
There's more. Well, this is no longer GeoWoodstock news. This is just sort of
news. Land Monkey's full of it. Let's go.
I am. So you might notice the hat I'm wearing tonight is my Vancouver 2010 ball cap that I got when Vancouver won the bid to host the Winter Olympics. And anybody who knows me knows that the Winter Olympics, particularly the Vancouver 2010 Winter Olympics, are a very big deal to me. And this is the 10th anniversary of the start of the Olympic Games in Vancouver, BC. Officially, that was on Wednesday, was the opening celebration.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So in celebration of that, I want to highlight the British Columbia Geocaching Association's Vancouver Waterfront Adventure Lab in downtown Vancouver. It highlights some of the sites from the 2010 Olympics, as well as other wonderful historical locations. So if you're coming up here for GeoWoodstock or whatever you're coming up here for, plan a visit to Vancouver on your visit to British Columbia and enjoy this super cool adventure lab put out by Kev MacD on behalf of the BCGA.
Nice. Kev MacD, he knows how to do adventure labs.
If someone was going to put one together, that's probably the guy I would go to first.
Yeah. Well, that's the guy we go to learn about adventure labs.
Yeah.
Absolument.
Yeah. There's my daughter and me at
there you go.
That location.
Cauldron.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I seen it.
It's neat, eh?
You biz there.
I did.
Can I have Cauldron?
I had a Land Monkey guided tour.
Ooh.
Well, that's pretty exclusive.
It was special.
Yeah, I'm pretty special. Sometimes they let me on the long bus.
Yeah.
When I stop licking the windows. All right.
Well, he licks everything.
Schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Awesome. So yeah, it's very, very exciting for me to be celebrating that. But I thought it's an opportunity for me to also on the podcast promote what I think is a really, really good adventure lab put out by a great guy. And yeah, as you're saying, he's been on this podcast. He's been on the Geo Gearheads talking about how to do adventure labs. And I'm in the process of building an adventure lab that's going to come out very soon. And I have him to thank for the work he did on the podcasts. And I learned so much that it made my adventure lab building experience much simpler.
There you go. If you are graced with an adventure lab, go watch our episode on building adventure labs with Kevin MacD.
Yeah.
Please.
Follow step by step, because he really does go through it that easily.
It was super helpful. Yeah. And I noticed Mrs. Landsharks in the chat said that she has done the adventure lab. It took just under 2 hours and did it all on foot at a leisurely pace, and even bumped into cachers from the UK.
Ah,
Nice.
There you go.
And they just put one out in Whistler.
They did. Yes, the Sharkies did. So there's now a cool adventure lab out there as well.
See, GSM times 2 watched, and it was helpful.
nice.
Awesome. So yes, thank you, Kev MacD.
Never been to Whistler.
It's, you don't have to know the words. You can just whistle along.
At least with Whistler's mom. Yeah. Oh wait, that's different. Okay.
That's different.
All right. Well, shall we cut over to tonight's topic?
We
got
definitely
so
need
much feedback to go through.
We
Yeah,
got
we've
great
Right.
feedback.
from Facebook. We've got feedback from Jason. He said our wedding reception was also a geocaching event.
Aw.
So yeah, so as a reminder, we're talking about meeting your love through geocaching tonight, and we posted out on Facebook and Twitter and all the social medias and said, hey, tell us your stories about meeting your love through geocaching, and we got lots of great feedback.
Yeah.
So obviously the story from Jason that we just shared, and from Veronica, she said, I moved to the other side of Canada where I didn't know anyone. I tinkered in online dating to meet new people. One guy asked if I'd geocache, and I sent a photo of my car's old plates, Ontario geocaching plates,
Ooh.
and the rest is history.
Aw.
So that's
Aw.
a story. I
Very
like
cool.
When you talk about meeting your love through geocaching, there's several couples that pop to mind. But, it's always fun to think, yeah, I know people who met through geocaching.
Yeah. Well, there's Brian Roth and his lovely wife.
Exactly. I was thinking of JD and Lisa from
Cache Advance.
Cache Advance. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there are others.
And we're going to go through some more.
We're going to go through some, so I don't want to spoil anyone that we were going to mention, or I didn't want to mention people that, are a bit more private.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Like that one couple that we talked about, they're a great couple, and they asked not to share their story, so we won't. But we love them.
Yes, them too. Hey, we also got some love advice questions that came in on Facebook, and this is an interesting one. And Wits End, I think you may have an opinion on this. The question that came in was, my crush won't go off the trail one step because of ticks, let alone help me search for caches. Shall I break up with her?
Well, I would seek advice from the great sage Brad Paisley and offer to search her for ticks, because check her for ticks. That's a great song, Brad Paisley.
And nothing says I love you like
sure
she doesn't have any ticks.
Purely for her benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just to make sure she's clear of all ticks.
And that's very selfless.
It is a selfless act. For
Yeah.
So any advice given on caching in the Northwest should never be taken.
Sure. Particularly when it's marital advice.
Yeah. Brad Paisley says, I'd like to see you out in the moonlight. I'd like to kiss you way back in the sticks, and like to walk you through a field of wildflowers, and I'd like to check you for ticks, because Brad cares about your health and well-being.
Yeah.
Well, Lyme disease is not something to sneeze at. No. I got an email this week.
Yes. Do tell.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay.
And, I didn't pronounce the name out loud before I started here.
So now it makes sense.
No, how would you pronounce it? I'm, huh?
Inukshuk.
Inukshuk, yeah.
Suck. Okay.
Every Canadian knows how to pronounce that.
Oh, well, okay. Tell me why.
Because Inukshuk is the stone waymarking that you see in Canada that often take the form of a person. The stacked stones that make the shape of a person. You've seen those, like we used for all the Vancouver 2010 logos.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's an Inukshuk. It doesn't have to be that form, but that is the most commonly referred to form.
Oh, now it makes sense.
So do go on.
Okay. So Inukshuk wrote in, my husband, Terrier, and I, Inukshuk, bumped into each other in the woods at ground zero of an FTF after an event that we both attended that was nowhere near where either of us lived. So we literally met in the woods geocaching. We got married the same year. Why wait? And we just celebrated our 4th year wedding anniversary. When I was first getting to know Terry, I helped him reach 5,000 found caches, and I had about 3,000. You can tell we enjoy the game because Terry is now over 15,000 and I'm over 13,000, but we don't seem to enjoy geocaching alone anymore. Since now we enjoy it so much more when we play together. Besides, he's better at the tree climbing. Not much, just a wee bit. And I'm better at crawling into small culverts and reaching into my small hands into dark holes. He's better at noticing what's out of place in urban areas and those nasty, tricky hides. Mm-hmm. And I'm better at spotting a tiny camouflage container in a cedar tree.
Ooh, Land Monkey's favorite.
I hear they're everywhere. He's really good with technology, and I'm not too bad at reading maps and planning the canoe trip or hiking trip. We make a good geocaching team. The first geo art we created was a GeoHeart geo art that tells our story when you open up the puzzles online and includes photos of our wedding. Here's a link to the first one, GeoHeart geo art. GeoHeart number 1, Valentine's Roses and Violets.
And then there's a description.
And then there's a description. Solve the mystery and then use the smartphone or GPS navigate to the solution coordinates. You know, the couple is crazy about geocaching when they host a geocaching event at their wedding. We had 2 weddings, one in New Brunswick and the other in Ontario. Both were geocaching events. My husband was a bit late to the first wedding.
Oh, never be late to your wedding. Just not advice right there. No.
Because we got notification of a new cache just as I was getting my wedding dress on. So I sent Terry to run out the FTF.
Okay, I retract the advice. If there's an FTF opportunity, it's okay to be late for the wedding.
If there's an FTF opportunity and the bride says, go get it. Yeah.
There we go. We need to add a caveat.
Okay, that is the important
bride says, go get it.
Yes.
You're going to be okay.
Oh, too funny.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what?
What?
He got it.
Yay.
Right now, he has 101 month streak of FTFs.
Ooh, 101.
So he had to go for the FTF, right?
I guess. Oh dear. I think he had to go for it because she told him to go for it.
Yeah. By the way, Dora Moore has crashed more than one outdoor wedding while geocaching. So.
Oh,
nice.
Including cake?
I would hope so. Because why else would you go to a wedding but for the cake?
All right. Oh, there's more.
GSM times 2 says, what does FTF mean in this case?
Oh my.
No, it's first defined. Joint project is a 2-part adventure lab. Both my husband and I were awarded an adventure lab at the same time. What are the chances? So we decided to make a part 1 and part 2 10-point adventure lab in our new hometown where we bought a house together. They are aptly named the Campbellford Experience. And if you want to find, I
said, that's all.
And if you want to find the adventure labs, you can look on the map where we recently hosted a geocaching event in Campbellford. Here's a link to the event. The labs are in the same town. It's a small town. Let's see. Terry and I are madly in love with each other, and we still consider geocaching our number one hobby. It's what's brought us together, and we keep on having fun playing the game together. Cheers. Inusuk.
That's
Inuksuck.
great.
Inuksuck.
Very
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, that's quite the story.
Isn't that a great story?
There you go. So there's a story from Eastern Canada there, all about geocachers in love. And I think we've got another story to play.
Yeah, I just have to say that warms the cockles of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever those are.
Whatever those are, at least they're warm.
That's right.
They're warm. I mean, it's like I got an electric heater.
Yeah.
Right around your cockles.
Moving on.
What?
We're keeping this family friendly.
Rewind that podcast and listen to that again. What did he
Let's
say?
listen to an interview that Land Monkey did.
Please.
All right, guys. Well, we've heard some great stories so far on the podcast, and it just keeps getting better. And to that end, I want to introduce our next guest speaker, guest podcaster from the other side of the planet from me. And it's someone you've probably heard their name before. It's C. Michelle. Hello.
G'day, Mr. Land Monkey. How are you going, mate?
G'day. I'm doing beautifully in the other part of the Commonwealth here.
Yes, exactly right. The Commonwealth Games are coming up soon, so you better watch out.
Yeah, well, we're always afraid of the Australians when it comes to the Commonwealth Games. It's okay.
So you should be. The Winter Olympics, we don't talk about that. Just the Commonwealth.
Hey, you guys have some amazing freestyle skiers. Now they do all their training in Canada, but some of the best are from Australia. So there you go.
We don't get notifications of those sort of things here. Funnily
It's
enough,
because they're all up here in Whistler.
exactly. They don't get sponsorship then from Australians, do they? No. We've only got one real big mountain in Australia anyway. They get snow on it. All the rest is just desert and fires and floods now too. So
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I'm glad that you were able to take a break from the fires and floods and kangaroo saving. I saw today.
Ah, yes. I saved the little Joey. It was actually a wallaby.
Oh.
A little wallaby. Yeah. There's a difference between a kangaroo and a wallaby. You can look that up.
Okay, well there you go. So we'll discuss that in the after show.
Yes, exactly.
But in the meantime, on our theme tonight of geocaching in love, we understand you have a great story to share with us, and I'm pretty much just going to hand the mic over to you, and then maybe throw a question in once in a while.
Yeah, I sure do, mate. I sure do. Basically, for me, it all started in GeoWoodstock in Cincinnati.
So there's a theme here going with GeoWoodstock.
I heard that actually. I heard that on the grapevine. There's a theme with this GeoWoodstock. So basically, if you're single, then get to the next GeoWoodstock in Canada. Is that right?
Yes, I will guarantee that will work.
Fair enough. No, so what happened for me is that I did the GeoWoodstock stuff, and like yourself, no, you weren't there.
I was in the Cincinnati one. Yeah.
Yeah, like other podcasters and also vloggers, I was pretty busy on the day. But the next day, in my travels, I traveled over to Indiana, and I found a really good, high-quality cache in Indiana. It had like 200-odd favorite points. And it ended up being like a dummy camera, like a fake camera.
Oh, neat.
In this little area. Anyway, I popped over there, and unbeknownst to me, there was no one else around. So beautiful. I like that. It's an empty parking lot. And so I go up there, grab the cache. It's pretty cool. And so I decided to Periscope it. And me with my Periscopes, I love my Periscopes. The live feed are the best. So I've signed the log as I do, and I walk back down and I start my Periscope. So I was halfway through the actual Periscope itself, and this absolutely blonde bombshell walks up, parks her car, walks up towards me, and I looked over and I'm like, wow, look at this. And so I yelled out to her,
did you say that on the Periscope?
Yeah. I didn't say bomb. No. I'm not like that. I just thought that. See, that's the quiet voice.
You actually have the inside voice that works. Mine always comes to the outside.
Oh, 5% of the time it works for me. But anyway, she walked up and I yelled out to her, "Are you a geocacher?" She's like, "Hi, I'm Alana." And so she came up and we did the geocache together. She couldn't unscrew the actual the dome camera. And so I said, "Look, here, give it to me. I'll do it for you." Unbeknownst to her, I actually did screw it up too tight, but it wasn't on purpose, I promise. Anyway, she signed the log then as well, and I said our goodbyes, and off I went, and that was pretty much it. And then, so 3 days later, I get this on Instagram. I get a request on Instagram from Alana, 719, and she sent me a message saying, "I think you're the guy that I met, the Aussie that I met," because she loved the accent, of course.
Of course.
We don't have an accent, you guys do. And so I said, "Yeah, that was me. That was me." And that was pretty much it. So that was in Cincinnati, and that's going back now. What's that? Almost 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. It's a while now. Well, we would just remain sort of acquaintances, really, not even friends on Instagram, just acquaintances. She'd post things here and there, and I'd make a general comment directly to her. Every now and then. That was about it. And then it came to a point in my time. I was single at the time as well, and been single for quite some time. And I thought, you know what? I haven't seen any men on her Instagram or her, so I'll give this a crack and see how she goes. So I made a little bit of a private comment towards her in regards to something about her car top being down, and I said, "Well, what about the car?" But anyway, yeah. So she then knew that I was, basically, pretty free to talk and stuff. So we then exchanged Facebook, became Facebook friends as well. So then I went stalking even more. As you do. She then sent me messages about the wanting to come to Australia with her friends on a trip. Her and her friends. She's got 3 Muggle friends that she wanted to come with, and so she sent me like an itinerary of what to do. And I said, "Well, look, Australia is way bigger than what you think." And so I basically spent some more time and explained it to her properly and stuff, and she understood it a lot more. Then she's like, "Yeah, that is way too much." And she goes, "Hang on a second, have you included yourself in my trip? In terms of visiting you?" I went, "Yeah, of course I have." Well, we then exchanged Snapchat. We exchanged Snapchat, and once we exchanged Snapchat, we started chatting every single day.
Well, that's like a pretty serious commitment, a Snapchat exchange, right?
Snapchat,
That's really upping the ante there. Yeah.
Exactly, and she requested, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm down with that." And within a couple of weeks of just chatting on Snapchat, she basically said to me, like, "Are we a couple here?" I said, "I think we are." And she goes, "So we're exclusive?" I said, "Girl, I've been exclusive for the last 6 months." Like,
you've just been waiting for her to come around to realize it.
Exactly. So anyway, she then ordered pretty much almost automatically booked a flight by herself to Australia, just by herself, in September last year. So she flew over in September for a 2-week first date with me, just her and I. It was pretty amazing. But anyway, she flew over in September, spent 2 weeks with the 2 of us, and it was absolutely incredible. And I'm talking about things like, so I know exactly where we first met, right? The actual cache container where we first met, I know exactly what it is, the GZ location, the coordinates. Well, I'd organised it. When I picked her up from the airport, I said to her, "I'm not going to kiss you at the airport." No, I'm more romantic than that. So I drove her to the most easterly cache in Australia, which is on the way home from the airport, and we exchanged our first kiss at that particular cache. So now I have coordinates for that. We had the 2 weeks were fantastic, and I thought to myself, you know what, this is it. This is it for me. Meanwhile, she'd already organised with her friends to come over as well. So then, the end of November, beginning of December, she came over for 10 days with her friends, 11 days.
Which would be summertime for you guys?
Yeah, summertime for us. Yeah, winter for you guys, summertime for us. So she came over with her friends, and I met her in Sydney and her friends in Sydney, and then we did like a self-drive tour all the way down the coast, all the way to Melbourne, and the Great Ocean Road, and then back up through Canberra, ACT, and back out of Sydney again. So I met her friends as well.
That is quite the road trip.
A geocacher organizer. No. Mind you, her 3 friends are Muggles.
Okay.
They know they're geo-friendly, but they don't really like doing it as such. So pretty much every one of our stops either had an Earth cache or a virtual.
So there's something for everybody. Well planned.
No one else knew. Everyone was taking the selfie photos, and we were taking photos of the rocks and stuff. But meanwhile, on this trip, I'd already spoken to her best friend separately to her, and her best friend went around to her parents' place and everything with Skype, and I introduced myself to her family and that on Skype without her being there, and got their blessing for a proposal. So yeah, it was nice and quick. So on this trip with her friends, we went to another good geocache location. Has to be a cache location.
Yeah.
It's actually an ammo can hanging over an edge of a cliff.
Okay. What could
yeah,
possibly go wrong? Okay.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. And it overlooked my hometown where I grew up.
Oh, wonderful.
Beautiful location. So again, selected with that thought in mind. So she was too scared to get it. So I grabbed the cache for her, and I gave her the logbook. She signed the logbook and I put it back in. As I put it back in, well, I was already on one knee, wasn't I? You see? And her friends knew what was coming up, but she didn't. So here I am on one knee, putting the logbook back in the actual ammo can. I reached in my pocket, grabbed out the ring box, and you should have seen her face. It lit up with these smiles and happiness, like, oh my God, here, oh my God, is this when it's going to happen? I then accidentally dropped the ring box over the edge of the cliff. Well, her face, I know, her face went from like this joy and happiness to absolute like freaking. She started freaking out, almost started tearing up in tears.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but just before she started crying, I made sure I put my hand in the other pocket and got the actual real ring box out.
Oh, you. So she knew what she was getting into.
Yeah, oh yeah, she knows. She knows the tomfoolery that I subject her to. So yeah, I then actually did a proposal properly, and luckily for me, she said yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So and now in the meantime, though, she's been back again over Christmas. So she's been to Australia, and then she lives in New Jersey. So she's travelled from New Jersey to Australia 3 times in 4 months.
Wow,
so,
that's commitment.
That is commitment. She's done over 22 plane flights in 4 months just to see me. Like,
you must be something special, is all I can say.
Well, mate, like, come on, I've got a mirror.
Well, that is a fantastic story. And so you're engaged, and is there a pending next chapter to the story?
There is. So with the engagement now, you're Canada, so you guys have got easier immigration laws than what the US have.
For Australians, yes.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. So I have the hoops I have to jump through now because we're engaged. I'm applying for what they call a K1 fiance visa. So that can take anywhere up to almost 12 months to gain. You see.
Wow.
So I'm still waiting here. The visa's gone through. Oh, by the way, if anyone actually works in Department of Immigration for the US, please look up my file. Please get it read and sort it out ASAP. That'll be fantastic. I'm just a geocacher, and I'm looking to move over to the US.
So there's probably a geocoin in it for you if you can accelerate the...
100% geo. And you know what? I'll chuck in a path tag as well.
Oh, there you go. All right.
It's worth it. I've got a TV too. So there you go. Message me, personal message me, see my shell on geocaching.com, and we'll organise it. So yeah, it takes take up to sort of 12 months to do that. Meanwhile, we've got plans. Like I'm coming over to Jersey next week, actually, for 2 weeks to meet her family properly.
Wonderful.
And her other friends as well. And then she's coming back over here in May. You see, just for another holiday. We're back and forth. But then the funny thing with the US is that when I actually get granted not citizenship, sorry, but not even green card, what do you call it, the visa, then I have, once I enter the US, we have 90 days for us to get married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've even made a TV show about it called 90 Day Fiance.
Oh,
there you go.
Had no idea.
These crazy Yanks, I tell you, nothing like Australia and Canada.
Yeah, we love them anyways.
I know.
Bless their hearts.
Exactly. So the only thing is, I said to Alana, I've been getting asked questions all the time. Is there going to be an event? And Alana's, no. I'm like, you know what? Secretly do one between the actual wedding, like the marriage and the reception.
Okay.
Somewhere where we're getting photos or something. I'll make sure there's an event there for geocachers to come and say good day to us as well.
Brilliant. Love it. Well, that's fantastic. So we will be keeping our ear to the ground to hear about that event, but also looking forward to you getting your clearance to get your wedding underway and come up to North America. And I imagine there'll be lots of opportunities to see you vlogging, maybe even podcasting once you're up here.
Oh, exactly right. And if I don't see you before, mate, I'm going to see you at the GeoWoodstock anyway. I'll be over for that too.
Brilliant.
That's on the cards, mate. Definitely. You wouldn't miss out on that.
Well, and you can provide romance advice there for anybody who can find you.
I've been divorced. No, I'd probably.
Well, we'll leave that part out.
Yeah, we'll leave that part out. Just, the current version. The current version is good.
Brilliant. Well, see, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us for this part of the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful story, and we look forward to seeing you at GeoWoodstock. And before we sign off with you, if anybody wants to get a hold of you or maybe listen to a podcast from Australia, how could people get a hold of you or learn more about your story?
Well, actually, I've just signed up my own website, seemyshell.com. And it is SEEMYSHELL.com. But I also do the Geocaching Down Under podcast, which I host currently. I've got a YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, all the social media stuff. So, yeah, just look it up at seemyshell.com and all the details and the links will be there.
Brilliant. All right. Well, thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you, sir. You're a fine man.
What a story.
That's a great story. It was so fun. So I had the great opportunity to talk with Craig, See My Shell, just the other night. I stayed up late. He got home from work and we connected. To me in the future, to him in the present, and had a great chat. He's a great guy. You guys in the U.S. are very lucky to have him moving into your country in the near future. So there you go.
Yes. Well, I feel for him and the whole immigration issue. But yes, we do have a TV show called 90 Day Fiance. I don't know why.
We have a lot of things in this country I'm not proud of. And really, when you consider New Jersey, Australia.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
Why New Jersey?
I've been to New Jersey. There are some beautiful places in New Jersey. But it's not Australia.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. So he must be in love, right? So we'll put it there.
Yes.
All right.
Love is blind.
So that was great. We obviously, I had the opportunity to speak with him and record that story. So thank you, Chris, for getting Craig and I in touch so that we could get that recording for our listeners. And that was a lot of fun. We also had an email come in from Wet Coaster that we're going to read through here. And it's a little bit about geocaching and love. It goes like this. No, we didn't meet geocaching. We have only met at a geocache if we were both looking for the cache and were searching in different directions. When we travel, we geocache together. When we go out on the weekend, we're probably geocaching together. When we go out in the evening, we are probably geocaching together. When we are planning on what we're going to do, it is probably so we can go geocaching together. Geocaching together is what we do. Signed, Wet Coaster. So there
Nice.
Wet Coaster in green words.
That's very cool.
Love story.
I have to say, my wife and I found exactly the same number of geocaches the year we got married.
Yeah.
1988. I'm just saying.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife and I both had the same geocaching experience when we got married.
Yeah. See?
Mhm.
It's great being old, isn't it?
Yep. So, Chris, you were sharing something from the chat there. There you go.
Yeah. So Mrs. Landsharks posted that many years ago, Dee Vixen from Victoria, BC, met a cacher from Australia after a few trips back and forth, which seems to be the common thing to do now.
Yeah.
She immigrated to Australia, and they had to get married within a short time frame too.
There you go.
There you go. Nice.
Awesome. All right. So we have some more audio to play. Do we want to cue that up and play that as well?
Let's do that.
All right.
Here we go.
Hey guys, it is the Land Monkey. I am here with two of my favorite cruising friends, and they have a story to share. It is a geocaching love story, and one you may not have heard this kind of story. You may have actually heard this specific story, but you may have not heard this kind of story before. It's pretty unique. So guys, welcome to the podcast. Can I ask you to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Derek. And I'm Allison. I cache as Hidden Seek, and I'm also known as Cache Viewer, the reviewer for Nova Scotia.
I, on the other hand, don't have such an original name. I'm just GPS Derek.
Awesome. Derek and Allison, thank you so much for making the time to talk with us on the podcast about love.
Aw.
Aw. All right. So I'm going to pretty much let you guys tell your story because you'll tell it better than I will. So take it away from the top.
Well, there's an event in Ontario that used to happen every summer, and it used to be called Spring Fling. Well, I guess it was June. Spring Fling. And in June 2013, they had Spring Fling in Aurelia at a YMCA camp.
Lake Geneva, I believe.
And I was standing up on a hill waiting for a reviewer, probably a shorter one, who was taking his time. And all of a sudden I see this person walk past the main door of the building. And I look at my friends and I go, I'll be back in just a second. And I wander off. And it's not surprising to them that I'd wander off to talk to anybody. But I walked up to this guy who's walking past the door and I go, excuse me, just a moment. I'm just wondering what the average height person feels like when they stand next to me. Do you mind if I stand beside you for a moment?
So
And
I'm going to pause the story just for a
I'm
moment
about to
because
say, I think we need to clarify though.
being the audio version of the podcast, maybe there's some important information we can share.
Okay, I'm 6'9".
I'm 6 foot.
All right. Please, Allison, continue the story now.
Stand above a crowd. So Allison came up with that line. I looked at her, and then, much like many people that come up complete strangers and say something like that and go, that's nice, and
Walked away.
walked away.
So I went, okay. Walk back up to my friends. We go about our day, doing our thing, having a great time, enjoying everybody at Spring Fling. And I go back to Ottawa, and at the time I was married, and
I was married as well.
you can imagine what my marriage was like when I tell you that my ex's geocaching handle was the parole officer.
Oh, dear.
Exactly. And over the course of the summer, adding friends on Facebook of people that you met at events. And I saw Derek's picture one day and I added him on Facebook. And I was like, okay, I don't know who this person is, but being a reviewer, I always like to kind of eavesdrop on people's geocaching things. And I was like, this is another way to know another area.
Geocaching stories, good and bad, is what she's trying to hear.
Right.
And so I friended him, and he
Accepted the friend request after contacting a friend of mine who was a mutual friend and went, who is she? And his reply was, stay away, she's trouble. And I said, no, Jerry, seriously, she's really nice, no problems. So I accepted the friend request, and that was pretty well it for our communication for
months.
at that point.
And that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
Well, that could have been the end of the story.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately-
There's more. Okay.
Well, it gets thicker at that point. Unfortunately, shortly after our meeting and the friend request, my marriage fell apart, and I went through separation proceedings and eventually divorce. And it was many months later.
That I'm posting on Facebook a link to things that you know that your relationship's in trouble when, and was in the process of figuring out my own separation and divorce when I get this message from that tall guy at that event months earlier. And it basically was saying, if I'm reading your message correctly, and a few things recently, I suspect that you might be going through the same thing I'm going through, and I have some advice for you. And it turns out we were both trying to process a separation and divorce, so we started to become divorce buddies, playing opposite sides of the table. Like, he would complain about something going on with the other lawyers and things like that, and I'd be like, oh, well, this is probably what the thinking is, because that's what I'm thinking. And he would give me advice. And at one point it was like, oh, when we get together at Spring Fling next year, we'll enjoy a beer together. And then through talking and processing things,
we got closer, and I go through, we became divorce buddies. We became friends from there. And then there was a little harmless flirting over the internet. We're quite a distance apart.
at that time we were 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
5 hours driving away. I lived in Guelph, Ontario, when Allison lived in Ottawa. So it was quite a distance, and we're quite a safe distance and all that. There's a bit of flirting. And I said one point, you'll never wait till next summer to share that beer. You want to see me before that. And she didn't flinch and said, oh, maybe.
I was
And
like, okay, you want to travel, come visit.
So sure enough, one
weekend he
One
came
weekend,
up, and
I came up for a visit in Ottawa.
we got to know each other and kind of were like, hey, this is kind of nice. Like, you know, hey, you want to be my Mr. of the Month? And we'll have see where it goes. And my Mr. of the Month rolled into my Mr. of the next month and Mr. of the Year. And, you know, 2013, now it's 2020, and he's still here.
That's,
But this is where it gets interesting. In the process of him trying to get to know me, he went back and looked at former Spring Fling photos going back to 2009. And we were within arm's distance of each other in a photo 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012 without noticing each other.
Now, is that
And all
because they
those
always put the tall people at the back of the photo? Is that?
no, actually, these were photos that were like, one of the events was there was a spring fling where a cache was beside a barn between a fence.
And the
And
picture is of us walking past each other, and you could tell that we must have brushed arms because we were that close as we
Oh
walked past.
my! There you go.
but and there was like, for example, we're gonna have a theme here. I can tell at GeoWoodstock in Pennsylvania, I don't remember which one. There's actually a picture where they did the big group picture in the corral. And I remember exactly where I was standing, because the pictures are so, yeah, I'm that dot over there.
Right.
They're so far away. I remembered where I was standing. Sure enough, we're going through all these pictures, and there's a picture with her standing right after the picture, literally 10 feet from where I remembered myself standing at the grandstand. I'll know I'm there. I'm in the red shirt or yellow shirt. I don't remember now. I'm that dot there, sort of thing. And sure enough, there's a picture of her about 10 minutes after that group picture was taken, with her group from Ottawa standing within 10 feet of that grandstand that I was standing at.
So I always joke we were like two marbles in the cosmic universe that are kind of circling the drain and getting closer to each other and closer to each other. And then it was 2013 before we kind of rubbed up and stuck to each other as we continued the circling.
Needless to say, we're still together. And about 6 months after the initial meeting, this is our kind of our, Mr. December, Mr. January, Mrs. January sort of thing, on this January. I said, we need to stop talking like there's going to be an end date here. It may happen, it may not, but let's see where we go. And we stopped talking like there was an end date.
Or a rebound, and we just stuck together since then. And as you've experienced on the cruising with us the past 2 years, like, we have a good time. We joke around and enjoy traveling and doing the same things. We both get geocaching. I mean, I don't refer to him as the parole officer like I did someone else. We enjoy traveling and geocaching. There was one point where we flew out to the mega event on the East Coast, and I was like, look, I only have 36 hours to fly out, do this event, and enjoy some company out there. I'm like, I'm going to go on adventures that are crazy like this. Your choice is to be in the seat beside me on the plane or not. And I haven't seen him not in the seat beside me on some of those crazy adventures yet. So it's a good sign.
That's awesome.
Although we could have that different seat in a plane, because sometimes the leg room.
The leg room. Gotcha.
Sit in a different row.
So I want to take your story to a particular event in Cincinnati.
Okay, well, that was kind of going along my theme. It's GeoWoodstock.
Okay.
So in Cincinnati 2 years ago, Allison, as she said, is a reviewer, and she was on the reviewer panel. And I actually talked to Brian from Groundspeak saying, I'm not sure if I want to do this here or maybe later or something like that. He was all excited. No, do it now. Do it now. So I lined up to ask questions. Unfortunately, they kind of...
I also thought that I would just hang out in the back row with my friend and that we would just let the U.S. reviewers take all the answers because it was kind of their turf. So,
needless to say, I was under the shelter, and I was probably about 5th or 6th from the line, but they had just recently sealed all the wood, and I had a choking fit from the fumes.
Oh, no.
So I had to step aside, get some fresh air, get some water, came back, and I'm at the end of the line. Sure enough, we were getting close to whether there was going to be enough time, because the storm started to roll in.
I recall that. That was a big storm that rolled in.
Oh, that was a big storm. And
scary when you're on stage watching it roll in.
It came up, and the MC, I don't remember the reviewer's name, but the MC, came up and said, well, we have time for one more question, and handed me the mic. And I stood up and said I had a question for a reviewer from Ontario.
Yes, that's not for me. I review in Nova Scotia. He's not after me. He's that other little one.
That other little one obviously said, I've been hanging around with him most of the weekend. What question could he possibly ask? And turned on his camcorder because he knew what was coming. Even though I never talked to him about it, he knew about it. And I asked Allison to marry me.
Well, there I am on stage going, oh my gosh, this is a question for me. Gluing in slowly and walking up and said, yes, I will marry you. And we will continue our adventures and our cruises and our traveling and having fun. And the adventure will continue with the next step this summer.
Now, if we all know what's going on, there is another GeoWoodstock coming on. And since I seem to have that theme going, there might be some news coming up at that around that time frame.
That's
The people that there will be invitations going out, and the people that will be receiving them will know where to go.
That's awesome. So, I mean, you can't get much more of a geocaching love story than people who connect through geocaching events and stay in touch, support each other, fall in love, propose at a geocaching event, and it looks like maybe the next step is somehow associated with another geocaching event. So
Probably.
It'll be close.
it'll be close. That's awesome. Well, you guys, thank you so much for sharing your love story with us and all of our listeners. And we wish you guys the very, very best forever.
Aw, thank you. And we
Thanks,
look
Jay.
forward to seeing you this summer out at GeoWoodstock too.
Yes. So
Like it.
as we wrap it up, if people want to find you guys to hear about your story in person or meet the people that they've just heard this wonderful audio story from, who would they look for at GeoWoodstock?
The people standing above a crowd.
The tallest people there. Okay.
Maybe not the tallest, but
Pretty darn close to it.
probably close to it.
And again, your caching names?
Oh, sorry, GPS error.
And hidden seek, and you might also find me amongst the reviewers as Cash Viewer.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Well, thanks, Jay, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there.
Oh, that's a sweet story.
It sure is. It sure is.
Yeah.
So there you go. A couple of really great audio geocaching love stories that we managed to get recorded for you guys, you awesome listeners, and play back for you. And some great romance advice for Keats94, who throughout the podcast has been asking questions about how does a geocacher find love? Well, Keats, you go to GeoWoodstock. It seems
Apparently, that's the
clear.
trick.
Yeah.
That's the trick there.
That's the thread that we're pushing tonight. It's all
Yeah.
GeoWoodstock.
So log your will attends, all you singles. It's going to be love in the air in British Columbia.
And pay attention to who's around you.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
You never know. 10 feet away.
That was the message from that story.
Just saying.
That's awesome. All right. So yes, and Keats appreciates the good advice. Thank you, Keats. Awesome.
And once again, the advice given on caching in the Northwest should never be taken.
That's right.
It's not that you should take it at your own risk. Just don't ever take it.
No. Yeah.
Or take 2 in the morning. And
Oh, yeah.
We are not legal counsel, nor are we marital or counselor relationship advice counselors. So
That's right. Sometimes we don't even like each other.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Most of the time I don't even like myself.
we've all got
So
opinions.
there you go.
There you go. So Komikino says, love in the air and Canadian bacon.
Now bacon. Now there is something I can get behind.
Bacon
Loving.
will also be in the air. at
Yes.
Woodstock. So with the poutine bar.
Mm.
I was going to say, if you got bacon on one hand, Nanaimo bars on the other, I'm in.
I mean, that says love to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't need anything else.
All right. Well, this has been a fun episode filled with love and a little creepy off the start, but we got it smoothed out. as we went.
What do
Let's
you
just say a little more creepy than normal.
Yes, fair enough. Than
Okay.
usual. Yeah.
Your words hurt.
So, Chris, what are we doing next? What are we going to talk about?
Oh, hey, folks, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest. We had a lot of fun making it. Next week, we are talking about geocaching bucket lists.
Ooh.
So we want to know what's on your bucket list as far as geocaching goes.
Okay.
Send an email to feedback@cashingnw.com.
Okay. I thought there was more. I wasn't sure.
I
Oh,
I moved on to my next thought, then I had to go back and say, where did I stop?
Yeah, make sure you complete the thought. Now move forward. Okay.
Feedback at geo. No.
nope.
No, now
Nope,
you've got me
nope,
all
podcast.
flustered. Oh, I must be having some love potion number 9 over here.
Something to do with Geoborg, maybe?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's borked.
Oh, Bork. There you go. Bork, Bork, Bork.
The Swedish chef.
So we
Right.
want to know about your geocaching bucket list items. You can send an email to feedback@cachingNW.com.
That's it. Nailed it.
Woohoo! I'm leaving on a high note, folks.
That's right.
Oh, you wouldn't know I do this every week, do you? Would you? It's just
no,
one of those
not
things.
really.
You can call in to 253-693-TFTC, or you can use the field. I am really bad.
Wow. I thought you were talking about fumes there for a moment.
You can use
Maybe
the
there
field
are
what?
fumes in here.
Well, you know,
You can also use the feedback mechanism on the cachingnw.com website. You can mail in a field recording.
Yeah.
What do I care?
yeah.
I think you
Talking-
made this all way too complicated. I think that's the problem.
Talking about fumes, MC3
Holy
Cats,
senior
can
moment, that man.
can you smell the love?
All right. Hey, you know what?
I don't know what I'm doing over here.
Well, I'll tell
We
you
don't know what you're doing either. So
We're going to take a moment to thank Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online, or hey, go in person and visit their store in Victoria, British Columbia, and pick up the latest How to Puzzle Cache puzzle book and supplement. They are open 6 days a week except holidays, and they ship online orders daily.
I'm not laughing at you, Mr. Land Monkey. I'm laughing at does Chris have a CO2 detector in his basement?
Thank you, Start Cacher. We're all concerned at this point in time.
You know the answer. There's no reason I have to answer. You know the answer.
And is it going off?
Nothing's going off in my skull.
All right.
Neurons are firing whatsoever.
So we're going to ask you all to support us on Patreon so we can all chip in to buy a CO2 detector for Chris's basement. Thank you.
I've got a heater going. Maybe I just need an oxygen tank.
Well, and that's what our faithful Denali level supporters are for, to make sure that we get CO2 detectors in the basements. Those faithful Denali level supporters would be Landsharks, JP's Geo Design, Limax, Team Squirrel. I'm still laughing about this. And Groovy Owl. I'm sorry. All right, folks, if you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website.
That's right. Like these people have done.
GSM times 2.
Dune Buddy,
B. Pendragon,
Kennel Barb.
Winos Seattle,
Genies,
Team Noltex.
Subway Mark,
Wet Coaster, and Greenwords,
Camp Clan.
Acrodoc,
Untaeus.
Broncos fan for life.
T. Sayer,
It's like such a commitment. All right, LG 9th. Hey, new patron. LG
That's right.
9000. Thank you very much, LG 9000.
Thank you.
Next.
Oh, it's me, Kevin McKee.
Doramore,
M Nerve.
Kitty Quest.
Seebeck Tribe,
Hey, looking for love. It's Keats 94.
Highlands guy.
the Geo Travelers,
And providing timely advice for all of us, MC3 Cats.
We cannot forget Ala Robrick.
nor CRS 98.
Or Trexer Zero.
What about Boomer 365?
Right up there with Kid Vegas 19.
Hey, this is a new one on me. Fairwood West. New supporter.
Newish, yes.
Nice.
Newish.
All right.
Name
Welcome.
correction.
Welcome
Yeah.
and thank you.
And thank you. Yes.
Billy Robson.
Friend of the show, Sprouter.
Oh, it's my turn. Still laughing at Chris. Sege Hove.
GeoNav Pros.
And we rounded off with Tick Magnet. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. We really sincerely do appreciate your support and the opportunity you give us to harass Chris by saying your name. Thank you.
We appreciate everybody. And I appreciate you two jokers. And if somebody wanted to reach out, and connect with one of you, say Land Monkey, between now and next Thursday night, where could they find you?
Land Monkey between now and next Thursday night. Did I say it right?
I think so.
Huh.
That works. Next.
All right. Hey, if you want to find me, you want to get a hold of me, you want to get the contact info, it's at LandMonkeyGC on all of your social medias. You can find me there posting all kinds of stuff on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. You can also find my YouTube videos. Just search LANMONKEY Land Monkey on YouTube.
The singing is back.
I knew you missed it.
Somewhere Mrs. Land Monkey is rolling her eyes. Yeah, I can see it.
Wits End.
Yes, sir.
What can people do when your Mrs. rolls her eyes? How can people find you?
Well, you can find me here Thursday night. You can find me between Thursdays at geocaching.com, Twitter, Facebook, many other places. Just search for Wits End. Chris, how about you?
You can find me at Caching in W. That could be on Twitter. It could be Facebook. Or maybe you have to spell the whole thing out, Caching in the Northwest. But better yet, head on over to cachinginw.com/hosts, read our bios, find contacts, and loads of other interesting tidbits. Yeah, tidbits, not timbits.
No, those are completely different.
Yeah. That's when Canadians go, yum, eh? Yeah, in America, we pronounce it Yuma.
That sounds like an entirely new story there.
Yeah. Hey, folks, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Don't forget that you can be part of the show. You can call 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask a question. You can email us chocolates any time of the day or night. Of course, you can also email us at feedback@cachinginw.com. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, you know what? Just think about clicking the Patreon link on the cachinginw.com website. And then you can subscribe. You can subscribe anyway on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and so many more. You know what? You gives this a thumbs up. Gives it to us.
We want thumbs up.
We want the thumbs up.
That's what I was thinking. They are my precious.
Yes.
Or a review.
The thumbs up. The thumbs up.
I want the thumbs up.
Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Precious. The thumbs.
Finish it, Chris. Come on.
I don't know if I can. This show's produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2020 by Chris Umfenauer.
And we've just violated so many copyrights with our Gollum impersonations.
Go.
Got a little something stuck in your throat there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun
Do
time.
we
It's a
even
Timbit.
go
Hey,
on to the
You know
next?
what? What? Sorry, I cut you off, Chris. Where are you
Do
going?
we need to go on to the next? And stay tuned for
The after show. Well,
Or-
we have to do the after show because there's important contest information coming in the after show. People have been waiting for that.
Yes, there is. And this is the thing.
and
So,
you know it.
so now it's time to talk about the new contest we've got that starts today.
It's time. It's
tonight.
time. You mean to say it's time?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Tell me.
The contest is imagine you could join a group to go geocaching anywhere in the world.
Ooh.
Tell us where and be entered into the contest to win a limited edition coin and tag set from Landshark's 2020 Caribbean geocaching travel adventure.
Ooh.
So this is a limited run, limited edition. These coins and tags will never get made again. There's very few of them available for sale. This is your opportunity to win. So how do you win?
How do I win?
How
do
do
you
you win?
Chris,
go-
tell us how you win.
You win?
Because we choose you. That's how you win.
Do I go caching in Abbotsford in August?
Some people can win that way.
Okay.
You are a winner. If you are
But this
cashing in
one-
Abbotsford in August, you are a winner.
All
All you have to do is post into Facebook or Twitter and tag Caching NW and tag land sharks.
Ooh.
With a Z.
That's with the
Don't,
Z.
don't forget the Z.
Tag them both, answering the question. Imagine you could join a group to go geocaching anywhere in the world. Tell us where, and you'll be entered into the contest to win.
Okay.
Hold on.
So
I'm
it looks like
copying
Jim and I are imagining it. Can we win?
I somehow think we're disqualified.
Uh,
But just hanging out with you on a Thursday night, I'm already a winner. So
You are, buddy.
There you go.
We're all winners. Oh,
Geo Travelers or Christy from Landshark says these coins aren't for sale at all.
therefore, the value has just gone up
the
tremendously.
value just increased dramatically.
That's
and I
right.
just corrected. There you go. Thank
So
you.
you cannot buy these coins. You can only win them through this podcast and the Land Sharks, who we absolutely love.
Yes, we
We
do.
do. Thank you,
Now-
Land Sharks.
The contest runs today. We're starting it right now and closes February 27th when we announce the winner on the podcast.
Because that's a Thursday.
Oh, hey, how convenient. Should we
Thursdays
do
are
it
awesome.
the after show and make them listen to the whole show first?
I
Ooh.
think that's brilliant. We will do that because we're lovely people.
And we love
Yeah, that's it.
We do love the after show. All right. So, yes, that is exactly what we're going to do. And I will make sure that we get some social media posts out tomorrow that, again, explain the rules. So, if you didn't quite catch this and you're not sure exactly what to do, all the information. All the
Information. It's all the information.
All the information.
Yeah, yeah, that stuff, that rules. They're more like guidelines.
I'm going to drink. And
Hey, guys.
let you guys talk.
I sure like you because I look normal compared to you.
What is normal but a setting on the dryer?
There you
Thank,
go.
thank you guys. I make a silly mistake here and there, and maybe I don't have enough oxygen. What does it really matter?
Yeah.
But then y'all do the same thing,
And then we do.
and we're not in the same room. I
No,
don't think.
if we are, it's really good effects.
Yeah.
So I had posted something for the after show here that I wanted to ask people. If you were listening closely when C. Michel was talking about his love story,
Yeah.
early on in that conversation, there was a discussion about kangaroos and wallabies. And I don't know if our listeners caught that, but it turned out that Mr. Monkey does not know the difference between kangaroos or wallabies. So I am opening it up to our research department to inform me what is the difference between a kangaroo
Okay.
and a wallaby.
Are wallabies marsupials like kangaroos? I believe they are.
I have no idea. I assume they are because they sure the heck look the same to me.
Can you tie a wallaby down, sport?
That's the difference.
I don't know. I'm.
Oh, the difference is the spelling.
There you go. Keats.
Yeah.
And-
And
Yeah.
Barlang says a kangaroo is a kangaroo and a wallaby is a wallaby.
and
Duh.
Komikino says the difference is the spelling.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Wallabies are smaller.
Then what?
Hmm.
Oh,
Well, then kangaroos, I assume.
and only 75 were made.
Hmm.
There's
Kangaroos or wallabies?
Or wallabies.
Yeah.
No, those are
think we're
coins.
talking about the coins. But
We're
Yeah.
talking about the coins.
Yeah, the difference between a violin and a viola is that a viola burns longer.
All right.
Oh,
So, thank you very much. Mostly size. There you go. Thank you, IHAM and Keats94. You guys are all so helpful.
Okay.
All right. So
I've
now
heard
we-
size doesn't matter.
oh,
It does when you're talking kangaroos and wallabies.
Oh, okay.
smaller than a tallaby.
Kangaroos are the 6th largest species of the genus that contains wallabies and kangaroos.
Well, there you go.
Nerd alert.
I didn't know there were. Well, I guess I don't know how many species entirely are in there. So
At least
12.
6.
At least 6.
at least 6. Yeah. Oh gosh. All right. So hey, other news to talk about in hashtag FATAS. Reminder for everybody: the Fraser Valley Cache Bash 3 kicks off February 29th on Leap Day. Leap into Cache Bash 3 at GC8 GCH Hotel Echo Wallaby 8. So GC8 Hotel Echo Wallaby 8. There you go. And yes, B Pendragon, you did just get nerd alerted.
Oh,
But yeah, so yeah,
kangaroos
join us
have
for
long
Cash
to wait.
Bash. It's February 29th, 10:30 a.m. downtown Langley, British Columbia. We are looking forward to people joining us. We're going to have a great time. Kick off the Cash Bash, provide you some great information about how to hide caches that will be awesome for when our company comes in August.
Now, on February 29th,
Yes.
you know, most people are just happy to find a cache that day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leap for joy over one actually.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's so nice. What is the 29th? The 29th is a Saturday.
It's Saturday.
But
How often does February have 5 Saturdays?
That's true.
not
That
a
Doesn't
lot.
happen
Pretty
very
rare.
often.
Sounds pretty rare.
Yeah.
I'm going to
So
go with
Project
it's rare.
GC will show you different things on their new stats. Like, oh, if you found, say, an event on the February 29th, if you found different sizes of caches, if you found webcams, if you found different. So downtown Langley that day, will there be an opportunity to find maybe multiple icons in a day?
Well, there sure will, because there is a Where I Go in downtown Langley and a handful of other types of caches. So definitely you will get some new Project GC what do you call those things? Badges? Badge gen?
Badges.
We don't need to. Oh, yeah, I know.
They're add-ons to badges.
Oh, okay.
Badge add-ons. We don't need no stinking badge add-ons, but we
Badge-a-dons.
do. But we want them. So
Okay.
we do need them.
Ooh. Oops. I want to go out with Brylang. Planning a day of caching, including hosting an event, claiming a 5-5 challenge, a letterbox, a virtual, a Where I Go, a multi and earth cache, and some traditionals.
I don't think I'm strong enough to go out with Bryling on that day.
That's a pretty busy day.
That's a busy day.
Yeah, I'll have to find out some more.
Now, the last time we had a Leap Day event, February 29th, I should say. If you, for those of you in the audio podcast listening at home, this 29 here over my left shoulder probably doesn't carry over well on the audio podcast, but that's my log sheet from the event I hosted on the 29th. So there you go.
Very cool.
It was at 229 on 229.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
Nice.
Perhaps your name is on that sheet. It might be.
My name is on that sheet.
Yeah, I know yours is. Zoom in, you might find it, but
Okay.
odds are probably not.
Mine is not. What else have we got here?
That was one of your first events, wasn't it?
Might have been my first event.
GSM times.
I'm a very
2.
poor host and a good guest. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your.
No,
story.
I'm done.
Please tell us more about what a poor host you are.
Oh, you don't have enough time for that. Please, you jump in.
I was just going to move to our next hashtag FATAS item.
Thank
This
you.
is from GSM times 2, who said, hashtag FATAS, I completed a 13 icon day after the Yuma event. So I think he's saying eat that Brylang, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's going. But
Well,
That's a rough translation. You know. Yeah.
it's not what I don't think that's what he was going for, but
No?
nonetheless,
Well, I'm going to put it in there.
Sure. Why not?
But he did add, if you're in the chat, he did add a link to his Google Doc for how he planned and had 21 people follow that plan to get 13 icons in a day. So
Well
awesome
done.
leadership there, GSM times 2.
Now,
Good
can you
job.
visit 13 IKEAs in a day?
ooh,
I don't think you could.
why not?
Ooh,
You're not
let's throw
committed.
that challenge out there.
You know what, Chris? You're right. I am not personally committed and invested in visiting 13 IKEAs in one day.
Nor am I. But if there are meatballs involved, and of course there are, I might be interested.
He had to host a CITO and an event to get that.
Wow.
And Brylang had a 13 icon day once, but one was a waymark and another
don't-
was a benchmark, which either counts towards the badge gen.
Yeah, waymarks don't count for anything.
So did
Not
you?
even for rows.
Did
Nope.
you really? Anyways, that's awesome. So congrats, Brylang. And
Hey.
What's that?
GSM times 2 said my wife and I tried. We got to 5 looking for dishes.
No, wow.
Oh.
5 IKEAs.
Okay.
I didn't think any IKEAs were that close to.
I'm impressed. Very well done. Very well done.
Must be a California thing. All right. Well,
I
congrats.
mean, if you're going to hit multiples of anything, pretty much contact GSM times 2. It could be
Really?
IKEAs, it could be Icons, it could be
Yeah.
Volkswagen dealerships. I'm just coming up with things off the top of my head. Waterfalls,
Perhaps
Mm.
you
chasing those
no,
anyway.
don't chase them. Yeah. Perhaps you will prepare a plan for you on how to do it, how to find 5 IKEAs in one day. All right. What else have we got here? Hashtag Fatas from Trexler0 said,
Hey, bring us back, please.
yeah, strategizing when to log the locationless cache this year. The Leavenworth webcam isn't far from Ape.
That's true.
That is very true.
And I do love Leavenworth.
Yes.
Yes.
And that Leavenworth webcam is very slow refreshing. So don't think you're just going to run in, snap a picture, and run out. It can take you 5 to 10 minutes to get a decent image.
Yeah.
I got Woody Goomba going through my head now.
Woody Goomsba.
So, folks, if you have no idea what we're talking about when we say Woody Goomsba, you need to Google Woody Goomsba and
You-
Leavenworth.
You really don't. But you want to now. So
Now you want to, and then you're going to forever, never again listen to advice from this podcast.
that's right. Yes. I do love Leavenworth. Not a great fan of Woody Goomsba, but we'll just leave that there.
It's an interesting marketing angle for
Yes,
the town
it
of
is.
Leavenworth. All right. What else have we got, guys?
Hold on. I had to paste Woody so they'd have the proper spelling of Woody Goomsba in the chat.
Very
You want me to go
thoughtful.
ahead and hit play on the video?
Pretty
I've got it
sure
right
you can find it no matter how you spell it, but
Tell you what, let's do this last Fatas from Keats before we play Woody Goomsba.
Oh, hold on. I'm not even in the document.
Okay, then I'll read it.
Keats
Hashtag Fatas from Keats. He says, "Love y'all for being such great people and hosting another quality, fantastic podcast. Thank you, Keats94. We love you and all of, well, okay, we like you a lot, and
Yes.
all of our listeners. The live audience really makes this a quality experience for us, and hopefully for everybody who's enjoying it.
and we take no blame for dubious merit or relationship advice over podcasts about GeoWoodstock and relationships. If it works out, though, we'll take all the credit.
Okay, Trexer, I gotta hit this one. Trexer says that I triggered his
Oh,
triggered his Google Home when I mentioned Google. He said his phone just looked up automatically Woody Goomsba. So I apologize, Trexer0. Next
Well-
time I see you out in the trails, I owe you an apology.
and in the interest of keeping things even, hey Siri, who is Woody Goomsba?
Hey, Google, search YouTube for Woody Goomsba.
World's #1 star tour guide, Woody Goomsba. Hit those phones.
There you
now.
go.
I'm looking for caller number 5.
Jim, I'm gonna need you to fax
Caller
me.
number 5, are you ready for a getaway? All right, let's get back to these tunes. Dirt Town Crew, get your Goomsba up.
Leavenworth, up in the house with the Dirt Town crew, rocking the mic with Woody Goomsba. Yeah, ha, he's a nutcracker, so bring on the nuts with the Dirt Town sound, picking your squeeze box up and squeeze yourself some fun in the sun with the Bavarians. They're the ones who wear the Goomsba, son. With the mouth.
Okay, I think that's enough.
Yeah, Braylang is desperately trying to end the podcast.
Oh, good times. Good times. All right.
Woody Goomsba.
Speaking of a love podcast, Wits End,
Hmm.
Chris Brew has a Leavenworth proposition for you.
Okay, well, considering heading up there for Mother's Day weekend, we may have to talk.
There you go.
Oh,
Big sigh. Drexer0. What am I listening to?
Yeah,
we've
we've
thought
been doing this for years. We're still trying to figure that out.
Woody Goomsba.
But on that note,
I'm pretty confident that the YouTube filters won't catch that one.
I
don't
don't know. You never know.
We'll find out.
Good times.
Folks, thank you so much. And until next week, make sure you get your Goomsba up and get caching in the Northwest.